What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Wagakki Band. Yes, indeed. Wagakki Band fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Glenn, and Glenn wanted to see me react to this song by Wagakki Band called Hakushu Kassai.
Beats the hell out of me.
Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, oh, wait a second. Yeah, I think I've heard this song before. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Frank Garcia, okay? And the video has 296,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Wagakki Band. I'm assuming this is Hakushu Kassai. I'm assuming. Dai Shinikai 2018. Shida Ino Kai. English sub CC. Lot of unnecessary information. That's okay. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
two things stand out to me. Number one, out of all the songs I've heard from Wagakki Band so far on the channel, I think it's safe to say this is probably the most groove-heavy song that I've heard from them. The groove on this is nice. It's really nice. As soon as the intro was great, don't get me wrong. The intro was nice with between the drummer and the bass player. It was cool. Okay, it was well done. It was well executed. It sounded good. It was a good lead into the song. Once the song kicked in, though, the groove took over. It absolutely took over, and I am here for it. Second thing, it's nice to see everybody getting their little featurettes. And when I mean little, I'm talking 4 measures tops, if that. Most of the featurettes have been like 2 measures or even a measure. But it's going around, and it's going around. We saw the bass player get a little featurette. We saw the auxiliary percussion get a little featurette. We saw the flute get a little featurette. We saw the guitar get a little featurette. We saw everybody get a little featurette. And what I mean by that is just, it's a little itty-bitty solo section. And seriously, it's less than 4 measures. I haven't heard one that's gone past 4 measures. Not one. And they're getting, and sometimes they're getting multiple. That's kind of cool. It's a different approach than giving, one of the musicians a 30-second solo. It gives everybody a chance to take the spotlight for just a little bit. Just enough to put a little shine on yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like that. For this type of a song with this type of a groove, I like it. And I hope they keep that going. I don't want to see a long solo. For a song like this that's so groove heavy, it doesn't need a solo. It really doesn't. But still give everybody those little tidbits, those little spotlights. I like that. I like that approach, and I really hope they stick with that approach for the rest of the song. I guess we'll find out. Let's keep going here. See? Four measures again. Four measures again. Four measures again. Resolving on the major. Huh. Resolving on the major. Interesting, and I like it. I like it. I thought they were going to resolve back to the root. I thought they were going to resolve back to the D. Instead, they resolve up to the F. Yeah, it's the F. F major. Wow. Wow. There are some things I want to say, but before I say them, I better be very sure about saying the things that I want to say. So I really need to get my thoughts together and make sure that what I want to say, and what I'm probably going to say, is accurate, and I'll be able to stand by it. So let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Wagakki Band with Hakushu Kassai. This was a request from Glenn. Okay, I thought about it. I really wanted to take some time to think about what I was going to say. Because here's the reason why. There were certain things I wanted to say. And there are certain things I wanted to say. And I needed to be sure that if I was going to say these things, I would be able to stand by it. And I wouldn't have to retract it or have second thoughts or regret saying them. So I'm glad I took that time because there were a few things that I had to say, you know what, I'm not going to say that because I'm not 100% sure. But the things that I am going to say, I am 100% sure about. So let's start off with the score and we'll go from there. I think you'll see where this is going to go afterwards. On a scale of 1 to 10, taking everything into account, I'm going to give that a 9.1. Yep, 9.1. You heard me. I didn't stutter. That is the score I feel this song and this performance deserves. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, 9.1. What does that mean? Well, a 9.1 would translate to an outstanding and or amazing scale rating. It would translate to 5 out of 5 stars, and it would translate to an A letter grade, a solid A. So there you go, 9.1, outstanding and amazing scale rating, 5 out of 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Now, how did I come up with this score? So glad you asked. A little different approach from what I've heard from them in the past. I like it. I feel like this song was way more focused on the groove and the feel than it was on musicality, musicianship, and trying to go for impressive songwriting. And I have a couple of examples of what I mean of that. In the past, with not all, but quite a few of the Wagakki Band songs that I've done on the channel, the focus has been on one of the musicians. Now, it's not always the same one. Sometimes the focus is on the flute player. Sometimes the focus is on the koto. Sometimes the focus is on the guitar. Sometimes, usually, the focus is on the vocals, and the focus is always on one. We never had that with this song. There was never a time, even the vocals were not the focal point. There was no focal point when it came to individuals. There was no focal point when it came to certain instruments. There was no focal point when it came to a specific voicing. The focal point, in all honesty, was on the groove of the song itself. Something that we haven't really seen a whole lot of when it comes to Wagakki Band. Now, don't get me wrong, all of the songs I've heard from them have had a nice groove, they've had a nice feel, but the groove and the feel have never been the focal point like it was with this song. And the reason I can say that, we never had a featured soloist like we have in the past, where the flute player takes the center stage and he takes a 16 to 32 measure long solo. Any of the other instrumentalists for that matter. They never took a majority share when it came to soloing. That was spread out throughout the entire song. The only exception being the intro. The intro with the drum and the bass. Now, the drum and the bass doing the intro to set up what was coming. I had no problem with that. I thought it sounded really good. It definitely set the mood and tone for what was to come, which was the main song. If people in the audience are familiar with the song, is it possible that they heard that intro and went, oh, we know what's coming? It's possible. It's definitely possible. Now, me not knowing the song, I didn't see it coming. So I had no idea what to expect after hearing that intro. I felt like the intro was a setup. Once the song kicked in and I heard the main groove of the song and the main melodic line of the song and the chordal progression of the song, the intro made perfect sense. And I was like, oh, yeah, there we go. I get why we did the intro now. It was all a setup. Cool, no problem with that at all. But once the main song kicked in, nobody had a solo over 4 measures. Seriously, they had little like 2 measures, little 1 measures. At most, we had 4 measures. Getting towards the end of the song, second half of the song, we saw more of the 4 measure spotlight. But that's just the thing. Is that really a solo? I mean, technically, by letter of the law, it is, but I call it more of a featurette. You know, you go out there, you do a quick little 2 measure to 4 measure little ditty thing that just puts a little shine on you. You know, you don't steal the spotlight, you shine yourself up a little bit with what that happens. And it doesn't last for long because the next thing you know, you pass the torch off or you pass the baton off to the next person who's going to do the exact same thing. Do a quick little 2 to 4 measure thing, put a little shine on themselves, pass it on to the next person. Always moving within the song, moving parts constantly within the song. And I like that. For a song like this, where the focus is the groove, you don't want a long solo because all of a sudden the spotlight's going to shift from the groove to the soloist. And when you have a groove as solid as this song had, you really don't want to do that. So this was fun. This was a lot of fun to listen to, and they did it right, featuring everybody. Every single instrument at some point had some shine put on them. Now, some instruments got a little bit more than others. Understandable. It's definitely understandable. But nonetheless, it was a lot of fun to listen to, and everybody did have their at least one moment to put a little shine on themselves. As far as the instrumentation goes, as far as the musicianship goes, everybody did a great job across the board. Everybody did a great job. It sounded good. There wasn't one voicing that I did not like. Even the vocals. I have been not always the biggest fan of the vocals. I understand the vocal style. I understand it. It goes for that kabuki style, theatric style vocal. And sometimes, keeping within that style, it does go over the top with like the vibrato and stuff like that. I get it. That's what this band is about. And as such, the band being about that style, you have to have the vocals that go along with that. I'm not always necessarily the biggest fan of it personally, but they do a fine job of doing it. And this is another example of it. They did a great job. I wasn't always the biggest fan of it, like at the beginning when the vocals came in, very vibrato, very large wavelength within the vibrato. But again, with the style that they're trying to convey, it's needed. It's absolutely needed, and it does fit the theming of the band along with the song. Now, here's the thing, though. It didn't do that for very long. She did it at the very beginning with the over-exaggerated vibrato, but here's the thing. After that, it became far more about projection and power. It became far more about notational selection and flow within the melodic line, and that was really nice. It was really nice to hear that, along with the male vocal supporting. Very complimentary to each other. If I just heard this song on its own, not seen a video, we would be in the greats, high greats. We would be like 8.7, 8.8 all day long. So how do we end up at a 9.1? I have said this time and time again on the channel. A live performance can help your score, or it can hurt your score, or it can also just be indifferent. If the score is just kind of man, and it's a man, and it doesn't have any impact whatsoever. The live show here and the live performance added to the experience overall. Let's go down the checklist. Let's see if they got them all. So, stage presence, check. Yeah, even with the intro, the stage presence was there. You know, the drummer and the bass player made their presence known, not just by playing, but visually made themselves be known. And then once the sound kicked in, everybody made themselves be known. So yeah, stage presence, check. Stage energy, non-stop. There was always somebody on the stage moving around, creating energy, creating movement and motion. Physics 101, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they definitely created it. Now, there were some points where it was a lot more energetic than it was in other places, but because sometimes you had like 4 or 5 people moving, and sometimes you only had 1 person moving. But at all times, during the course of the entire song, somebody was in movement, somebody was in motion. So, yeah, stage energy was definitely there. Stage interaction, we had a bunch. I was really glad to see that, especially towards the end where we had those little 4-measure solo sections where it seemed like everybody was going back and interacting with the drummer. The bass player did it, the flute player did it. I think the vocalist did it too. I'm not, or the guitar player might have done it too. I'm not 100% sure about that one, but yeah, you saw a lot of interaction on the stage with each other. Vocalist was constantly interacting with people on the stage, so we had some great stage interaction. Crowd interaction, check. Yep, we had it. Vocalist was leading the crowd. The lead vocalist was absolutely doing it. But so were the other members of the band, constantly looking out into the crowd, creating that connection, sometimes pointing into the crowd. That's always a good thing to do as well. They weren't just standing there gazing at their shoes and admiring the color of their shoelaces. So yeah, crowd interaction, big check. Showmanship, check. It was there, definitely. Between the costumes, the performance, the movement around the stage, the interaction with each other, the overall package, yes, it was all there. Showmanship was definitely there. Production, I mean, the costumes, sure. I mean, it doesn't hurt, right? Production, like I've always said though, unless you're a production-based band, production's just bonus points. Did they really need it? Nah, but I mean, it's nice to have, so I'll give it to them. So yeah, we checked off all the things I look for in a live show, and that's how we went up from like an 8.7, 8-point range up to a 9.1 was the live show. A lot of fun to watch, in addition to a lot of fun to listen to. So yeah, that's it folks. That's how we got to the 9.1. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We got a 9.1. We got an outstanding scale rating, 5 out of 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.